Hi, I'm Zita from Zita Coaching Consulting. How are you today? Thank you for dropping by my channel. I'm a life coach, business coach, and consultant. I've been working for business development and marketing for over almost 30 years. I can't believe how fast time flies. I work primarily for financial institutions and as an investment manager, marketing manager, product manager, for about 25 years. And in the last 10 years or so, I started my own business as a consultant. And in the last 5 years, I was inspired to branch out and start coaching because I found it was a nice calling for me. It kind of melded and complemented some of the services I offered, because while I did work for these larger firms as a manager, many times I would coach younger staff members to help them grow in their own respective careers. So I thought that was really inspiring for me. And this was happening a lot in my own personal practice, that a lot of the managers wanted me to coach the junior staff. So I thought this would be a great compliment. So what I want to do today is share with you what a couple of my clients were asking me, was to explain the differences between a counselor, a coach, a consultant, and a mentor. I put together a quick presentation, which I'll bring up on my screen, hopefully, so that we can see. I had trouble here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So as you can see in the first slide, there's basic similarities and differences, and that's between the four categories. And that's why you got the four circles kind of melding together, but not all necessarily touching each other. A counselor is someone who usually is a therapist, if you can interchange that terminology, and they usually have a bachelor's degree in counseling as a therapist, and others go on perhaps become a medical doctor or a psychiatrist, where they can perhaps prescribe medication for people who need additional support. A coach is someone who may or may not be certified, or because they have a lot of business experience or coaching experience, that they can share some of the experiences. And typically a coach is someone who works with the actual person and their personal issues, just like the counselor, but the difference being the counselor typically addresses very deep personal issues that started from childhood or in the past. Whereas a coach is someone who analyzes the person where they are today and is looking to find ways to explore and encourage them to find solutions to some of their issues and help them move forward and grow in their life or their career. A consultant typically is someone who works in a firm, either inside or as an external consultant, who will come in and typically do the work that is required. So a smaller firm may not be able to have a full-time marketing person, so they may hire someone like myself who will come in and work with the president or the main director to put together a marketing plan or a strategy together, including budgets, product launches, sales incentives, customer service issues, and assign to that a budget and employees necessary to implement the project to completion. So typically I would do this for 6 to 12 months. But that varies depending on the needs. For a larger corporation, you may come in as a full-time employee, quote unquote, but not necessarily an employee, but always an outsider helping in. And there's many benefits to that, because you don't get enthralled in sometimes a corporate politics, so you become unbiased and you're there to better the company. And finally, there's what we would refer to someone who's a mentor, and typically mentors are older people who have more life experience and are looking to help younger people either on the personal side or in their career. And typically a mentor is not necessarily paid for what they do, but are doing this because they feel they need to give back to the community. So I think in a nutshell, that kind of covers the four categories. So we'll go into a little bit more detail through the presentation. So typically a counselor, as I mentioned before, is referred to as a therapist. So depending where you are in the world, you may use counselor or you may use the word therapist. Here in Canada, we typically say a therapist. And this is someone who's typically hired and you would meet on a regular basis. So you meet maybe for an hour a week, for a few weeks or a few months, depending on the personal issues you're trying to address. And typically a counselor is an unbiased person who will listen to your challenges, and based on their experience, they'll give you homework and guidance to help you overcome some of the challenges you have faced, and to give you a different perspective. So they try to take you out of the one who's always guilty and feeling bad. Maybe there's solutions that can help you understand your role and what happened to you, and find ways to forgive the people who may have hurt you in the past so that you can heal and move forward. They help you develop important skills to deal with people maybe giving you a hard time, and finding ways for you to set boundaries. So typically, as you see on the couch, you would have a therapist talking to someone with deep-rooted personal issues, and they are there to guide you and not to judge you. So that's why it's sometimes nice to have a therapist and not to go see to your friends and family, because when you would meet with your friends and family, typically they're your friends because they like you. So if you complain about something, they're not going to challenge you with looking at things differently, because they want to hurt your feelings and they don't want you upset. So typically a counselor, as I mentioned earlier, is someone who looks into your personal life and trying to help you resolve some important emotional, psychological issues that you may have experienced in the past. And because they're in the past, it can be from a past life or past in this life that are challenging you and they're blocking you from moving forward. So they're impacting your past and your present. Often these include traumatic family issues that are still there unresolved. And because they're not resolved and you haven't faced them, or they haven't presented themselves, you haven't been able to process them, go through the learning curve, give forgiveness to yourself or the people who helped you for you to move on. When this often happens, this can show up in addictions, where people drink too much, they take drugs, they smoke, sex addiction, they steal, crime, etc. And in doing so, it creates a lot of blockages in our chakras or in our lives, because we're in a lot of pain and a lot of anger, so we can't move forward. So a counselor is very therapeutic in that respect, that can help you deal with your internal conflicts, and perhaps we tend to project them onto new people who come into our lives. So you may have had a problem with your father in your childhood, and then all of a sudden you realize you're at work, you're meeting a personality that represents your father, and this person is projecting pretty much the same behaviors and attitudes your father did. But because you never resolved them with your dad, the universe keeps sending you people or events that challenge you. So therapists will be able to identify what these triggers can be, and they will work with you to resolve these things so that you can bring them to surface, process them, let the emotions run through, acknowledge your role. If you were victimized, heal and forgive the person or the event that happened to you so that you can heal and move forward. So the difference between a consultant and a life coach is that typically a life coach will look at you, who you are today, where you are today, and where you want to move forward. So yes, they do look at you and approach things with you on a personal level, but they don't delve deeply to what is triggering things today. They may do that, but once they find out how traumatic something may be, they may, as a good life coach, they should tell you that that is not their role. If there's a deep-seated root event that's triggering you or preventing you from moving forward, they should recommend a therapist to come to help you. So having said that, if a life coach realizes there's nothing serious and that they can help you, that what they do is they will analyze what's going on with you. They'll find ways to encourage you to explore deeply inside you new ways of looking at things, new ways of approaching things with a new attitude that will change the way you behave and hopefully give you new, better solutions. So a life coach as I mentioned earlier, to recap, is someone who will look at you, who you are today, and help you move forward. And they will look at ways where you may be stuck and you're looking for personal challenges and personal life successes. They will help you acknowledge what is not working or not working very well and encourage you to take responsibilities for these activities. And they will help you empower yourself with positivity so you can move forward and take charge of your own destiny. They encourage you to look within, to analyze different scenarios and options and try different methods that might work better than what you've been doing to get you off your treadmill and get you perhaps maybe on another treadmill, but I like to think of it more as a bike so you move forward. And their role, unlike a consultant, is not to tell you what to do. They're there to coach you and to push you and empower you for you to come up with your own scenarios, your own decisions, because in the end, you're going to be responsible for your own outcomes to give you some of that much desired personal success. So to recap, the difference between a therapist and a life coach is that they do deal both on the personal life thing, personal life concept of your life. However, a counselor delves deeply into your past to try to give you a solid foundation for today. So they look into the past to find ways to improve your mental health and your emotional well-being. They encourage you to have a more holistic lifestyle and psychological outlook so you're not dependent on any addictions. And they're looking to help you get more constructive in the way you approach things. Your attitude will, in the end, change your behavior and also help you embrace the responsibility, the role you play in your own life. So these challenges will bring you great advancement, better behavior, and life's success. Similarly, a life coach looks on your personal life, but they start from the present moving forward. Yes, it may delve into the past slightly, just to analyze how serious the issue may be. If it's too serious, they should recommend a counselor. If not, they're there to support and not judge you and help you move forward. They are there to give you advice, suggestions, and to strengthen your own wisdom about yourself, your own capacity, and to move forward with a positive and inspiring approach. So they're there to empower you, instill confidence, self-confidence, self-esteem, promote positivity, which in the end will promote new solutions and success. The next category we want to look at is a business coach versus consultant. Typically, business coach is someone who is there to guide you so that you can expand and transfer. The coach is there to expand and transfer the knowledge with a wider breadth of expertise. So they're there to help work with you. So they're guiding you. It's slower in the sense that the person like myself is pushing you. So the goal is not to rush through things, and the goal is not for me to tell you what to do. The goal is for me to find options with you, for you to decide which solution is the best for you and to help you to your success. Whereas a consultant is someone who would come in for a project and actually take full force control and take the project from A to Z in completion. So a business coach considers your professional skills. So they're going to we'll do an overview of your personal skills and knowledge. So typically we'll explore what education you have, any courses or seminars you could perhaps take to expand your expertise and your confidence level, because it's important that your level is where you're comfortable to present. Perhaps you want to apply for a new job, but you're not sure about yourself, so your self-esteem is a little low. So you may explore taking additional courses to bring you up that little notch to make you competent and competitive with any other applicants in the market. And that would boost your self-confidence. Also, a professional business coach looks to help you develop your interpersonal skill, your leadership skills, because if the better people skills you have and the better you feel about yourself, the better manager you will be, the better leader you will be. In the end, the business coach is there to empower you, to work with you, offer solutions with you, offer options for you to consider, and be your coach to support. He's like the cheerleader to help you become more fulfilled in your career and develop stronger leadership capacity. A business consultant, they are more concerned on the profession development itself, in the sense that it's not so much the personal development of the actual human being, but to move forward with certain projects or businesses. So you may be a small business and you are not very well versed in, say, marketing and sales, and you don't have the funds to hire a full-time marketing person. So you would hire someone like myself who would come in within your firm to explore the products you have, the services you offer, to see where you are today, what you like to do in the future, how you want to expand. So I would come in perhaps with a budget, or six to 12-month budget that would highlight the projects, the steps to get things done, the resources you need, the business scope, and also that person's involvement in the actual project, the frequency we would meet, etc. The advantage to this is the owner or the business person and a business manager is they may not be as well versed, so they can rely on me to coach them or to consult or guide them. So technically, I would be there telling the person what to do, not necessarily coaching. Based on my experience of almost 30 years, I've made mistakes along the way, and I've learned from my mistakes, and I hopefully don't repeat them, and I can share them with you, what worked, what didn't, and present the option and move them forward. So as in life, nothing works perfectly, even with a perfectly executed plan, design, colors, all the bells and whistles, there's always challenges. So as a project moves forward, I'm there to guide you to prioritize projects based on the budgets, the resources, and the events as it transpires. So in the end, the ultimate goal is that the business consultant is there to help the business owner or corporate executive to fulfill a role that they're not experienced in or lack the actual skills to get done, but need someone to get it done for them. So we work together in a different capacity from a professional business coach. So finally, the last category is a mentor. The role of a mentor is slightly different. Typically, a mentor does this on a voluntary basis, so they're usually not remunerated for this service. And it's typically done by an older person who wants to share their life or professional careers with a younger person who's just beginning or in lower management. So their role is basically to teach, to support, to advise, to be a confidant without judgment. They, in the role, would share challenges they had in their own personal or professional career, so that the person, their mentee, is sensitive to what may or may not happen, and they can decide what they want to do. So a mentor can be in a personal and professional life. So it's common that you might be younger and you're looking to perhaps get married, and or you're let's use that as an example. So you're looking to get married and you're not sure it's the right time. So you don't want to talk to your parents or your friends. So sometimes there might be a mentor, someone in the neighborhood or someone you work with who seems to be happily married. You might just go talk to them and see what works for them. Why do they have such a successful marriage? And they can help you and share that with you. Or another example is someone who's a student. So you might just be beginning your young adult life and you're looking for guidance to where you should apply yourself. You're not sure in a career path. So someone who's been there, knows you well, probably since you're a child, they can pick out some qualities of your personality that you're not consciously aware of that may be very positive, and they can encourage you to do something. So for example, if you're really good at math and you're always thinking, oh, I can become a mathematician or a teacher, and someone will come and say, well, no, listen, you're great at math. You could be a good engineer, and that might be a career you never thought of. So typically a mentor is there to help you. They are there with their own personal heart helping you. They're not looking to be remunerated. They're typically people who have great communication skills, and they adjust their skills with the person they're going to work with. To be a good mentor, they won't be telling you what to do. Again, almost like a bit of a coach. They're there to give you suggestions that you may not thought of, and they're going to help you move forward. The whole goal from all these mentors is always in the best interest of the mentee. They're there as teachers, your coaches, your boss, or someone older in the field with the ultimate goal to make sure you lead a much prosperous and happier life. So what do I do at Zita Coaching and Consulting? I thought I'd take a few minutes here. I basically offer 3 different pillars, one of which is coaching, as I mentioned earlier. What I do also is I offer coaching sessions by the hour. So sometimes you just really need to talk to somebody outside of work, for example, outside of family and personal network, and you just want to bounce off ideas and just make sure you're going on the right way. So I would be able to be booked with you for an hour. Or if you're looking for someone to help you with a presentation, or you're looking to put together a resume and you're looking to practice rehearsing for an interview, then you can hire me for the day and I'd be with you dedicated to review your resume, review your qualifications, interview you, help you with your presentation, depending on what you're looking for. I could be there for you. I also offer 3 coaching programs. There's a Dream Creator program, which I do, which is on the life side. So I'm helping clients develop much happier, more balanced lives. Sometimes people get on the treadmill, they might be studying too much, or they're maybe working too hard, or neglecting their families. So in my Dream Creator program, I'm there to help you balance your life and set goals so that you are much happier. I also have 2 business programs. One's an executive empowerment program, where I work with middle to upper management in trying to get them either poised for the next leg of their career, or help empower them to be better managers as to where they are, because it's not easy managing people or projects. And often you may be alone at the top and there's no one you can really talk to in the corporation, because if you do that, you come across as inept or not competent. So normally going outside of the firm or outside of your own business is probably the best solution for you. So I'm there to help managers find better ways to deal with troubled employees, or find better coping skills, better presentation skills, better communication skills as well. That's often something very lacking. So that's that. And my 3rd program that I offer is a career transition program. And this is something that's interesting for people who are just beginning their career and they just graduated, or they're looking to go back to a 2nd degree and they're not sure. So I can help them bounce around ideas, what they can explore. Or you might be in middle management, you realize, oh my gosh, what I've been studying, what I've been working at for the last 5 years is not for me. I want to go back to school and explore other opportunities. Perhaps you studied law. This has happened to me a few times, where a few lawyers have mentioned to me that they're not happy as lawyers. A career didn't give them what they were looking for. Being a lawyer sounds exciting at times, but you do get boggled down in a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of arguing or debating. So sometimes that can drain a lot of people, although a lot of people want to help others, but sometimes emotional drain and strain may be too much, so they may be looking for other options. Or finally, there might be people who are older in the later half of their career, where they're looking to find ways to transition out of their career. Like myself, I stopped working at big corporations about 10 years ago, and I started my own company, Zita Marketing at the time. And in the last 5 years, I transitioned into a coaching program and a consulting program. So now my firm's called Zita Coaching and Consulting. And eventually I'm just looking to just coach a few hours a day and transition quietly into retirement. I'm not sure if I'll ever really retire, because I love what I do. So it's just a career plan that I've put in place for myself. And this is something that I like to do and help others with. One other thing I have a big passion for is being a marketing consultant. I've done this for over 25 years. So I work with small, medium firms to build marketing plans, usually 6 to 12 months. I have also worked for large firms, so I work with them with their project plans. I can come in and for a long-term contract for about a year or so, work at the company and see what I can do to help them. I also am inspired often to work with clients to create their branding or rebranding. So perhaps you have ideas of a new logo or corporate mission, vision statement, and you need brochures, you need labels or packaging. This is something that I've been doing for many, many years and I can help you with. I have a team that I work with. And finally, before you even launch a company, you need to create your own footprint on internet because everybody's on the internet today. So I can help you with building a website, social media platform, e-newsletters, and blogs. And something that you may have seen on my social media platforms is I do offer oracle card readings because many people realize that they're blocked or stuck and they don't know why, and they see patterns keep repeating. And I'm not saying necessarily negative, it's just challenges that come, and they can be positive in the sense you're not ready for them. So an oracle card reading helps because I can help you understand or identify the blockages, help you understand them, help you find ways to navigate through them to bring you to the other side. So these standalone sessions are anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, depending how deep this issue is. And not only it gives the client tremendous insight, but many clients want to move forward with this new approach. So I often include that into my coaching program so that at the beginning of any coaching program, be it 3 months or 6 months, I would dedicate a full hour at the beginning to understand who you were in a previous life or in your past, what's happened, what are your life goals and missions in this life, so that you can have a better understanding of where you've been, what your challenges are, and how to overcome them so you can move forward. So typically I would do this at the beginning of the session, at the 3-month mark, and if you're in a 6-month program, at the very end of the 6 months, so that you could see your own progress. And every time I would meet you in the coaching sessions, I would draw a card for the actual session, which often would be like the topic of conversation. And it seems those messages that come on that particular point in time are very important and integral for you to move forward and a new challenge. And that can help with the session itself, or it can help you with your session for the next time. So I hope this helped you understand the differences. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I've put here all my contacts and my social media platforms, so I would appreciate if you follow me. Please like and subscribe below. All my coordinates will be also in the YouTube channel description. So thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you, and hope to see you soon.